Okay, so what we're looking for here is the angle in between, the arc in between those two secant lines that are crossing is 40 degrees on that side, and the arc on this side is 52 degrees, and the interior angle we're looking for is the measure of angle 1. It just said find each measure. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the 40 degrees plus the 52 degrees and average them to figure out the angle degrees of angle 1 there in the middle, so equals angle 1. So to average them, you just add them together. So numerator first, 40 plus 52 is 92. 92 divided by 2 is 46. Ooh, crazy looking one. Okay, so let's look at part B then. All right, so what I'm noticing is that I have the 108 over here, but I don't know this arc here in between where those two secants intersect. But I already know the angle in the middle. I already know the interior angle. So if this is my two arcs, I know that the yellow arc plus the blue arc, whatever they are, divided by 2 would be my my interior angle, the 126, right? So let's fill in what we know. We know the 126 was the interior angle. I keep wanting to call that the exterior angle. We have 108 for the yellow angle, and we don't know the blue arc. And so when we don't know something, we call it X. And by the way, they even told us TS is what we're looking for. So we're just going to call that X. All right, so now we just have an algebra problem to solve. So if I'm going to get x by itself, first I want to get rid of that 2 in the denominator. So I'm going to multiply both sides by 2. So that gives me 108 plus x, these 2's canceled, right, equals 252. Then I subtract 108 to get x by itself, again, just solving this equation for x. And so 252 minus the 108 gives us x to be 144 degrees. So that's what arc TP is, TS, excuse me, is 144 degrees. Okay, so pause the video, try the U-try. Do pay attention to the fact that angle 1 is over here, and what we have been looking for is this angle here in between the two arcs. So just here's a little hint. I would call that blue angle X. Solve for X first, and then I would find angle 1. Okay, ready? You try. Okay, so we knew that the yellow and the blue arc added together, so 56 plus the 146 added together divided by 2 would equal the interior angle X. And so let's do that part. 56 plus 146 is 202. 202 divided by 2 is going to be 101. All right, so we just found that this angle is 101 degrees, but what we want to know is angle 1 here. So what we can do is a linear pair, and then 180 minus the 101 gives us 79 degrees for angle 1. Okay, so let's go on to our next theorem. Okay, so notice this one is called the exterior angles theorem. Take a look at it and see if you can guess why it's called the exterior angle. Let's see what else we notice here. It looks like I have, again, 2 secants. These both are lines that go all the way through the circle. But these secants are intersecting in a different place this time than they did before. Let's go back and look at the last theorem. Last time we had 2 secants that crossed like an X in the middle of our circle. This time we still have 2 secants crossing, but look where they cross. They cross way out here. If we were to extend these secants out, it's way outside. It's in the exterior of the circle. And so this whole formula is trying to find this red angle here we're looking for an exterior angle outside the circle. So if two lines intersect outside the circle, then the angle formed by where those two lines intersect is half of the difference of the measures of the intercepted arcs. So half the difference we know just means subtract. So we're going to take the arc in between the two secants on that rim part of the circle, and we're going to go over here and take this rim part of the circle, this arc, in between the two secants, and then we subtract them. How do you know which one to subtract? Well, it's always going to be bigger minus smaller, whichever one's bigger, because you don't want to have negative angle degrees, and then you divide by 2. So it's not the average this time. Average is when you add them together and divide by 2. Notice this one is a subtraction. So if you go to your strategy sheet, I called this one 4A. There's another version of this one, which we're going to call 4B. But for now, we call this the exterior angle. And what I have here below, guys, is some examples of how to work that problem. So like if this one was 85 and 110, you do 85 plus 110 divided by 2, which would be 97.5. Here you would do 100 minus 40. 100 minus 40 is 60, divided by 2 is 30.